most angry.
The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place. Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold? 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 You hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Shh! Calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh! Turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but
Do you understand? You and me, mate, we'll be heroes. All right, now, we just have to...
what?
Halt! Stop! You're under arrest!
Hands up!
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
What's your name, boy?
My name is Matthew Miller,
And where are you from, Matthew Miller?
from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, but my mom and I live in England now. She's taking care of some rich old lady. We're on our way to Venice at the moment. We're taking a cruise on a big ship.
Impressive. You've already seen half the world. I've spent my entire life in Switzerland.
Must be really boring.
And what's with the gun? What do you need it for?
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. Nor do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre, and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And Bobby Dobbs says he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels. You do know these days there are thieves far more dangerous than your old Raven. 2 days ago, a precious ruby was stolen from the British Museum. There was an explosion. A guard was severely injured.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what the papers say?
You talk too much, Constable.
Zellner, monsieur. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Or did he pull a gun on you?
No, monsieur.
Get a move on.
Inspector Legrand, it's a great honor to work with a celebrity like you.
We appreciate the support of the Swiss police, but it'd be better if you'd remain seated and keep an eye on things.
But monsieur, your journey on this train is most unusual. Is it related to the burglary at the British Museum?
Not in the least.
And the safe? What's that for?
I'll let you know if we need your help, Constable. If you'll excuse me, I'll be in the first freight car at the back of the train for the rest of the trip.
I'm not here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I am a good observer, and I have finely honed powers of deduction.
Thanks to that?
I watched the people on the platform in Zurich. I know, for example, that man over there is a violinist.
That would be more impressive if there weren't a violin case next to him.
And I believe that the gentleman in the next carriage is a German doctor on his way to Italy to take up a new position.
And what gives you that idea?
There's the rod of Asclepius engraved on his cufflink. And he's carrying a German-Italian dictionary.
Maybe he's just taking a holiday in Italy, following in Goethe's footsteps.
Too much luggage. And no, he's not retiring to Italy either. The suitcases are too shabby for me to believe that he can afford to retire in his late 50s.
All right then, Constable
Zellner.
Constable Zellner. If you're such a clever fellow, what am I doing on this train?
I think you're guarding something.
Oh, really? And what might it be?
I really couldn't say. But it must be very important.
Why is that?
Because you are very important. They wouldn't have assigned the case to you if it were just a trifle.
Let's assume that we really are transporting something very important on this train. And let's assume that it really is my job to see that it arrives safely. Then why isn't the train crawling with police?
You don't want to arouse attention.
Évident. But why not?
It's a trap.
You've got a vivid imagination. I'll give you that. Well, that is impressive, I admit. But the fewer people involved, the better. We'll get along fine without you.
You won't.
Won't? Pardonnez-moi.
I can help. And I will help. You're in my country, and I've been ordered to assist you. And that's exactly what I'll do, whether you like it or not.
Clever and stubborn. Your commitment speaks volumes, Zellner. But this is my show, and I don't need you. Bon voyage.
But how do you know? Oh, hello.
You cheated.
I did what?
I saw you talking to the German doctor on the platform. He told you everything himself, and you were just pretending to put two and two together.
And what of it? Do you know who that is? That's Inspector Nicholas Legrand. You have to impress him if you want to work with him.
I'm going to tell on you.
You'd really tell on me? To the very policeman who shot your dear Raven?
Whoa, it was him?
Mm-hmm. Hunted and killed Europe's most famous burglar. That's how he got his start.
I won't tell him a thing.
I wouldn't either. All right, Matthew. I have to do my work now.
Everyone calls me Matt. Well, except for my mom. She calls me Maddie, as if I were a little kid.
Whether Legrand wants my help or not, I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe I can change his mind. morning, I thought I wouldn't be hungry because of all the excitement. Thankfully, I bought a sandwich with me anyway. The apple core in the sandwich paper. That way I can carry it without making a mess of my trouser pocket. Still, I'd prefer not to have to carry them all day. The napkin came with the croissant I bought at the train station. A guilty pleasure. I don't need that either. Every table has its own wastebasket. Practical. No need to ever leave your seat. Every table has its own. All right. This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine. The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most, but one can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he.
Very kind of you. Thanks. Oh, pardon me.
No problem. The uniform is waterproof. Mr.
Lucio. Professor Edgar Lucio.
Oh, a professor. Are you a scientist? Do you teach at the Sorbonne?
No, I work at the British Museum in London.
You don't say. Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Here? On the train? No, I can't say that I have. Although I did spend most of the time in my compartment.
May I ask where you are going?
Of course. To Venice. I'm going to meet some colleagues there.
Oh, Venice. A beautiful city, or so I'm told.
Indeed. But I really have to take my leave now.
If you work in the British Museum, then you must have experienced the burglary firsthand.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no?
Well, there was a lot of commotion, but I didn't really pay much attention to it.
There was a break-in in your museum, and it didn't concern you?
Well, let's just say that nothing that's happened in the last 2,000 years concerns me.
Whatever you say. The famous Inspector Legrand is on this train. I imagine you know him.
No, should I?
You don't know him? And you also don't know what he's doing here?
No. Why should I?
Just a thought. You're a representative of the British Museum. There's a guarded safe on the train.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to imply. And now, please excuse me.
I don't want to take up any more of your valuable time, but you do understand, don't you, that what concerns me is the present, and especially the robbery at the museum.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's just, I'm in rather a hurry.
You'll get in touch if you notice anything unusual, won't you, Professor?
Of course, Constable. What's this?
What's the matter, sir?
The door. I can't open it.
We'll sort it out somehow. The compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward. He was going to bring me one, but he never came back.
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what I can do.
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here. He doesn't make a very balanced impression. And he, of all people, isn't bothered by a robbery in his own museum. Professor Lucien?
Yes? Do you have the key?
Actually, I wanted to...
Please. I have to go back to my compartment.
I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure. May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on holiday?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine. Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there, we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I travel...
I see. As a writer, I mean, you have to study.
I solved the mystery of human... Since then, most people just...
Really?
What do you want to know, Constable?
Did you notice the man who just walked...
I did. He was waiting at the bar, and since the steward never appeared...
He seems pretty young, but he's already...
Interesting. I'll have to talk to... just out of courtesy.
Of course. Did you notice the blonde man with...
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make it. People like him are drawn to wealth.
But his charms failed.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend...
Did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the... Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the Raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my...
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation.
Legrand, right. Will he save the day again? Or will you?
As much as I'd like to keep talking, duty called.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came. You seem so... And this is it. Your chance.
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big change.
I shall do my best. Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott from me, a pushy admirer. Very diligent. But she does seem a little nervous and tense. I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Matt, and a difficult boss from what they say. Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
The little boy, Matt, he's your son?
Oh, yes. Has he done something?
No, I've already met him. Clever little fellow.
We always call him Professor because he's so precocious. If only someone could just drive the mischief out of him.
Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Oh, I'm afraid not. I was totally focused on my... You have to tell...
Good Lord, child.
So, nothing?
No, Constable.
Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Good...
Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth. Maybe if I just suck it.
Mr...
Zellner.
Right. How can I help you?
Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves, and didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He's not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a
No, it's open. Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the Yard. And this is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a Swiss policeman, can undertake investigations in my own country.
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as long as you're here in the freight car.
Oh, really?
There is a certain... He's an archaeologist.
And what's his story?
Well, it's...
Locked up.
Well, yes.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door...
Professor Lucien played... Well then, Constable Zellner. Report back to me when you're...
My pleasure, monsieur. Then I was right. You really do want to...
That's none of your business.
Perhaps.
And how would I...
With something in... What do you know of the...
He tried to blow me up.
We don't know who...
In any event, the new
How do you know it's a man?
Or several...
And anyway, how do you know that it's a...
Monsieur?
Never mind.
I go attend to the door.
Good. And, Constable Zellner,
Yes?
don't bother us unless you have something new.
Of course. A thief might get...
Exactement. Knock twice.
Understood. An investigation on behalf of Legrand that takes me one step closer. If I can convince him of my competence, I'll